Ladies and gentlemen, there is a treasure hidden inside of you, a power, a force, a greatness waiting to be unleashed. The journey to your best self is not a destination. It is a process of discovery, development, and dominion. Everything in life was created with and for a purpose. Purpose is the original intent in the mind of the Creator that motivated the creation of a thing. A bird was created to fly, a fish was designed to swim, and a seed carries within it the potential to become a tree. No matter how much you admire a fish, if you take it out of the water and place it in a tree, it will struggle, suffer, and eventually die. Why? Because it has been removed from its intended environment, separated from its purpose. Likewise, when a person does not know their purpose, they will live in frustration, confusion, and unfulfillment. They will spend their life chasing things that were never meant to define them. Money, fame, validation, or status. Only to realize that true success is not measured by what you achieve, but by whether you fulfilled your reason for existence. You do not decide your purpose, you discover it. Purpose is not something you create. It is something that was placed within you before you were even born. Everything you need to fulfill your purpose is already inside of you. The gifts, the talents, the passions, the desires. These are all indicators of what you were born to do. Consider a manufacturer who creates a product. Before that product is ever placed in a store, it goes through a process. The manufacturer designs it, tests it, and ensures that it is fully equipped to do what it was made for. Then the product is placed inside a box and a manual is included. The manual tells you what the product is, how it is meant to function, and what happens if you use it incorrectly. In the same way, you were designed with an intention. You were not born by accident. You were not a mistake. You were not placed on this earth just to exist. Before you were ever born, your Creator designed you with a purpose in mind. And just like a product, you were placed on this earth fully equipped with everything you need to fulfill your assignment. The problem is most people never read the manual of their own lives. They let the world, circumstances, or other people define them. They listen to voices that were never meant to guide them. They pursue careers for money instead of calling. They follow trends instead of truth. They get trapped in a cycle of existing instead of living. And as a result, they feel empty, not because they are incapable, but because they are disconnected from their true purpose. Purpose is always connected to service. A tree does not eat its own fruit. A river does not drink its own water. Your purpose is not about you. It is about what you were created to give to the world. Every great person you admire, every innovator, every leader, every legend, these were people who discovered their purpose and poured themselves out in service to humanity. They found their assignment and devoted themselves to it completely. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. It is living without knowing why you were born. Imagine standing before your Creator at the end of your life and realizing that you never became what you were meant to be, that you lived your entire existence beneath your potential, that you settled for survival when you were created to thrive. The wealthiest place in the world is not the diamond mines of Africa or the oil fields of the Middle East. It is not the banks of Wall Street or the vaults of nations. The wealthiest place on earth is the graveyard, because buried in the ground are books that were never written, businesses that were never built, ideas that were never executed, songs that were never sung, and inventions that were never created. The world was waiting for them, but they died full instead of dying empty. You were never meant to add to that statistic. You were born to manifest something great. Your existence is proof that there is something the world needs that only you can give. No one else has your exact combination of gifts, talents, ideas, and personality. No one else can fulfill the exact assignment placed on your life. The question is not whether you have a purpose. The question is whether you will take responsibility for discovering and fulfilling it. Because purpose does not reveal itself to the passive. It is unlocked through intentional seeking. If you want to find your purpose, start by asking yourself, purpose is not about chasing success, it is about chasing meaning. The moment you discover why you were born, everything else begins to fall into place. You will no longer waste time on things that do not align with your assignment. You will no longer be distracted by the opinions of others. You will stop comparing yourself to people running a different race. Because when you know who you are, you become unshakable. Until you discover your purpose, life will always feel like a puzzle with missing pieces. But the moment you find it, Clarity comes, direction comes, confidence comes, because you will no longer be living according to the expectations of others. You will be living in alignment with the reason you exist. Growth is not automatic. A child may be born with the potential to become an athlete, a doctor, or a leader, but without intentional development, that potential will remain buried. Every great person you admire did not simply wake up one day and become great. They went through a process, a journey of discipline, learning, and refinement that shaped them into who they are. Nothing in life reaches its full potential without process. A seed carries within it the potential to become a mighty tree, but if it is not planted in the right environment, watered consistently, and given time to grow, it will never become what it was meant to be. A piece of gold does not shine in its raw form. It must go through intense fire to remove impurities before it becomes valuable. Likewise, your growth requires commitment, pressure, and discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you were created to be. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The reality is that talent alone is not enough. Many people are gifted, but few develop their gifts to the highest level. Natural ability may give you an advantage, but without discipline, it will never take you far. The most successful people in history were not necessarily the most talented, but they were the most consistent. They trained when others rested. They studied when others were distracted. They sacrificed temporary pleasure for long-term success. They did not wait for inspiration. They committed to a process, even when they didn't feel like it. Growth requires intentionality. You do not grow by accident, you grow by choice. The habits you practice daily are shaping the person you are becoming. What you do repeatedly determines your future, because success is not one big event. It is the result of small disciplines practiced consistently over time. Consider the athlete who wakes up before sunrise to train while others are still sleeping. The musician who rehearses for hours every day, perfecting every note. The leader who reads, studies, and sharpens their mind when others are entertained. The world only sees their achievements, but behind every success story is years of preparation that no one applauded. Discipline means doing what is necessary even when you don't feel like it. Feelings are unreliable. They change from day to day. If you only act based on how you feel, you will never accomplish anything great. A person who lives by their emotions will always be inconsistent. One day they are motivated, the next day they are lazy. But a disciplined person makes principles their foundation, not emotions. One of the biggest enemies of growth is comfort. The moment you become comfortable, you stop growing. Growth requires discomfort. It demands that you stretch beyond your limits. It forces you to face challenges, to push past excuses, and to endure temporary pain for permanent transformation. A muscle only grows when it is challenged by resistance. The same is true for your mind, your skills, and your character. Many people want success, but they do not want the discipline that success demands. They admire the results, but reject the process. They want to achieve greatness, but are unwilling to endure the training that greatness requires. You cannot demand the rewards of discipline without embracing the sacrifice that comes with it. One of the keys to discipline is self-control. A person who cannot control their impulses will never master their destiny. The ability to say no to distractions, to resist temptations, and to focus on what truly matters is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The greatest battles you will fight are not external, but internal. The battle against laziness, procrastination, and the temptation to settle for less than your best. Discipline also requires consistency. Doing something once is easy, but doing it every day is what produces mastery. A drop of water may seem insignificant, but when it falls consistently over time, it can carve through stone. In the same way, your daily actions are shaping the person you are becoming. Your habits are either building your future or destroying it. Every small decision matters. The books you read, the people you surround yourself with, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you take daily are either moving you closer to your best self or pulling you away from it. Most people fail not because they lack potential, but because they lack discipline. They start with enthusiasm, but when the excitement fades, they quit. They set goals, but when obstacles arise, they give up. They make promises to themselves, but when pressure comes, they break them. True discipline is the ability to keep going, even when the motivation is gone. A farmer does not plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. Growth takes time. There will be seasons where you see no visible progress, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Every small act of discipline is a deposit into your future, even if you do not see the results immediately. The process may be slow, but every day that you stay committed, you are building something that will last. Discipline is not something that can be borrowed. No one can develop it for you. You must decide for yourself that you will take responsibility for your own growth. No one else is responsible for your success. No one else will wake up early for you. No one else will push you to become better if you do not push yourself. You can have mentors, teachers, and coaches, but at the end of the day, it is your personal discipline that will determine your future. If you want to change your life, change your habits. If you want to grow, commit to the process. If you want to become the best version of yourself, embrace the discipline required to get there. You were not created to blend in. You were created to stand out. You were not designed to compete. You were designed to dominate. Every person on this earth was born with a specific gift, a unique talent, an extraordinary ability that sets them apart. But the difference between those who merely survive and those who leave a lasting impact is their ability to discover, develop, and deploy their gift to the highest level. The world does not reward mediocrity. It does not recognize those who simply exist. It acknowledges those who master their craft and rise to the top of their field. If you look at history, the names that are remembered are not those who followed trends, but those who set them. They were individuals who discovered what made them different, developed that difference into a skill, and dominated their area of influence. A lion does not need to prove that it is the king of the jungle. It does not need permission to be what it was created to be. The lion rules because it walks in its nature without apology. You too were designed to rule in a specific area. But if you do not recognize your authority, you will live like a slave in a world where you were meant to reign. To dominate your sphere, you must first identify your unique gift. Your gift is not something you learn. It is something that was placed within you before you were born. It is that thing.